One of the most common and frequent tasks you'll have when you are retopologizing a character or creature or anything that has appendages is closing the ends of those appendages. Granted, you can use things like add and split, but you can see going polygon by polygon, this could take a while. Same thing with quads. You could use the 2-click method here, which is great, but again, it's quite tedious. So I'll hit escape and undo a few times. I like using the direct method here. What that does is it lets you make a single click each time. So come here, click, click. But that still is, again, a bit too time consuming and tedious. So let's undo that. You could use the strokes tool. I'll undo again and hit escape to drop all those splines. So there is a quicker and better way. One is to go to the select tool, and we can go to edges mode. I can click a single edge and then right click and choose edge loop, or I can hold down the shift key and click on that. If your mouse is too large, you can see what happens. It selects too many edges, and I don't want that. So undo. So right click out here in an open space, or use your bracket keys like you would in Photoshop to reduce your brush size. Hover over the edge. When you see it highlighted, hold down the shift key and click. Now, I have assigned hotkeys to the transform tool and the snap tool because these will be ones that you may use quite frequently. You can also assign one to the relax tool as well, because we're going to use that here in a moment. To assign hotkeys, if you're not already aware how to do that, you hover over the tool and hit the end key on your keyboard, and that will let you make the assignment. Transform tool, when it first becomes active in your project, you might want to check auto fit in local space. That way, each time you come back to this tool, it's automatically oriented in local space rather than world space. That way you don't have to fuss with the gizmo much at all, if any. In this case, you'll see if I try to move along a specific axis, it's just moving edges rather than extruding, but it has a built-in extrusion capability by hitting the enter key or this button here, commit extrusion. So let me hit the enter key. Now, this tool is not going to snap, even with auto snapping on. It's temporarily disabling this, but I'll use the hotkey assigned to the snap tool to snap it on the fly. Now, I'll lose my transform gizmo for the moment, but all I have to do is hit my hotkey for the transform tool, and there it is again. We can continue extruding, hit the enter key, do kind of a global scale inward, move it in, and then my hotkey for the snap tool. Another technique I like using quite a bit is I can split rings here so I have enough geometry. Maybe another one there. And then go back to the select tool, shift click, expand. And now, when I click relax, because auto snap is checked, it's going to smooth, make everything uniform, and conform to the voxel object all at the same time. But it's also going to nudge those edges closer to the end of this appendage, as you'll see. I'll hit escape. I can also use the brush tool to do much of this in a localized fashion. I can just kind of nudge the geometry in place and shape it the way I want. And then hold down a shift key with keep bounds while smoothing unchecked so that it will let me smooth the open border here. Otherwise, it's going to lock it. So with that unchecked, I can hold down the Shift key and use that. Okay, so let's go ahead and nudge those toward the end. And I'll do the same thing at the bottom here. At this point, I could use the R-Fill tool. And it leaves me with a little opening there. I think I'm just going to use the Move tool here. Vertices, reduce my brush size. And then again with the brush tool, hold down the Shift key and just kind of clean things up a bit. And that's going to conclude this quick tip video. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.